That's how you reach us here on the Talk of the Town, or the text line 623-0373. Jason Aiello, Rocco LaDuca, Mark Wilbur, along with Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, continuing on the line with us here this morning. Mark, I think you wanted to start off with...
Claudia, this is just coming from a little different angle, but just share this with us because this is intriguing. How did this visit come about? Did he approach you? Did you approach him? And in the process of your conversations with him about coming here, what did he say about the upstate New York area, and particularly about Utica? Can you share that with us?
I obviously I've had a number of conversations with the president. Rec has seen the numbers. We've talked about what we've lost as a great region. Look at the amazing companies that were founded here. And I'll be honest with you, every time I go to Washington, people say, well, where's your district? And these are people from around the country. And they'll say, name some of the big cities. I'll say Utica, Rome. No register. And then I say Binghamton. They go, oh, yeah, Binghamton, IBM. And I'm like, wow, how did Utica and Rome not stay on the map as such important parts of our nation's founding, whether it's Oriskany, Rome, Fort Stanwix, the great, the Erie Canal, the build up in Utica, a great city. Why are these not known? And I said to the president, he goes, wow, what's going on there? I said, we've got this aggressive, progressive, I mean, it's worse than progressive. It's really a socialistic state government that overtaxes, overregulates, works against its own community, because they're very self-interested. And not to mention, we were considered the most dysfunctional legislature in New York State in 2004 by a very left-leaning institute, the Brennan Center for Justice down in NYU. In 2004, we hardly made any changes and done anything different. And what have we resulted in? Over 30 corruption felonies coming out of that, or 30 convictions, I might say. Our governor is surrounded by people who are getting convicted. You can't tell me he doesn't have something to do with this. And so I said to the president, we need help in this region. The tax reform, I know Anthony's going to get on and say the tax reform isn't working, and Mark, you and I agree on this. The tax reform has been the one lifesaver for our community right now, what we can do on the federal side to hedge against the high taxes on the property and sales tax, the high energy costs, second highest in the nation, and all these things that are working against our business community. I have yet to go to a business that hasn't benefited from tax reform. If you are making under $200,000 a year and you haven't benefited from tax reform, we will hook you up with an accountant because somebody is not doing your tax reform right, or you have a gross anomaly in something in your income. I mean, we might actually do a tax day where we will just get a team of accountants and you come in anonymously and we'll go through and tell you what your tax consequences are. These are important issues, though, that we are so overtaxed. And the economy is just roaring across the nation. It's doing better here, but it should be roaring. And it's because of the burdensome regulations, the unfriendly business climate, the billions that get spent on these projects that don't yield jobs. And as Mark said, the government shouldn't be engrossing itself and getting in the middle of the business community. It's supposed to regulate the free market, let these people go out, give them tax breaks, let them run the businesses, hire people. We're trying to help get us from a borderline socialist economy back to having, enterprise and opportunity. And you do that by giving everyone a fair shake, not giving money out because Governor Cuomo is going to hand how many $700 million over at the Nano Center or
Claudia, I gotta stop you for one second.
Only in election time do they give that. But go back to my
you didn't answer Mark's question.
How did the visit come about, Claudia? Who approached who?
Yeah. So anyway, I talked to the president a lot about these things. I mean, these are what we. Right. And I said, I'd really like you to come to the region. I'd like you to just highlight and see what's going on. Because I thought he did a good job in Rome when he came for the primary. Before the primary, He was in the hangar in Rome. And I said, I think that you will be happy that people like you in our region. You won by good margins in the district and also, in the surrounding counties. And so I just asked him every time I saw him, and he kept saying, I'm coming in. And so we were hoping he was going to come in and do a big rally, and he announced, I'm going to come into Utica and do a fundraiser. And I went, I said,
so you didn't ask for the fundraiser, Claudia?
Not in Utica, but he did. This is what he offered us, and actually, they make such a big deal about the pricing, but the reason is the president knows they need the resources. Nancy Pelosi is dumping millions and millions of dollars into this race to take this seat.
So let me just interrupt you a minute. Well, hang on a minute. So you were telling the president you wanted him to come to up to Utica to see what's happening, to see what's going on here, to see the trouble we're having because of the government, and he came back to you and said, I'll come to Utica, and I'm going to do a fundraiser for you. Is that kind of what happened?
No. Well, I've talked to him at least 20 times, and our conversation is, I want you to see Rome Lab. I want you to see, maybe see what's happening to our dairy farmers. We want you to do an official visit. And he has a limited amount of time, but he knows that we're in dire straits in a lot of ways. We're struggling. And so the response from his advance team was to come to a fundraiser. And I was like, I still want the president to come. It wasn't my first choice, but I'm honored that the president came and wanted to put, his clout into helping me get reelected. So, yeah, the president said, I'm going to come to a fundraiser. It was actually his advance team. So the president was not the person who said, I'm going to do that. And so we made the best of it. And I said, geez, can we get some people into this that are real supporters, people that are emblematic of our community, like, the Core family, the Wymans, people who have lost loved ones due to tragedy, they are great Americans who are still out there helping people who have suffered similar tragedies themselves. Vince Scalise, who does a lot of work for our veterans. There were so many people I would love to have picked on the tarmac to be there for him, and we did as many as we could get to in a week's notice.
And Claudia,
putting the whole thing together.
We got a minute.
Claudia, did he have any final words on the area as he left that he thought about Utica and the Mohawk Valley?
He said that he was really impressed with the crowd, and one of the things that he noticed, he said, I was really surprised by how many people were along the trail all the way through Griffith Park, all the way down Route 49. There were just teams, hundreds and hundreds of people with Trump signs and all the support. And he was really grateful for that. He said, wow, this is really great. And he loved meeting Mary Malinowski, and loved meeting Maria and Brian Wyman.
Claudia, big question. Is he coming back in October?
We don't know. We hope so.
Possibility?
And by the way, look, the politicians and the Utica newspaper are attacking me here. Instead of celebrating this moment, maybe, I hope that doesn't deter him from wanting to come back.
Hey, you brought him here, Claudia. No matter what they say, he came here, you're here.
I agree.
Not too many other people have done that.
All right, Claudia, we do have to run, though.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it. I'll let you go. I've got to run, too. Thanks so much.
All right. Congresswoman Claudia Tenney giving us some details on the president's visit here in our area, landing at Griffiths in Rome and making a trip and a stop for a fundraiser for Claudia here in Utica. CBS News coming up, your local news, and Jill has the weather. Stay tuned. It's the Talk of the Town.
Broadcasting from the Bank of Utica.